Oh my goodness. See how long it takes before it crashes. Let's see. All kind of fun stuff happening. Uh, Hi there, crime stuffers. We got us a show, I swear. Let's see here. Um, Donnie has departed and the place is dark. There's troops in DC. Okay. Um, and everything's fine. Everything's just fine. Okay, so let's see here. You got to understand some numbers. 90 days to perfect. So it takes 90 days to perfect. 90 perfect from what? From the 21st would be the beginning of the 90 days. So to February 21st, to March 21st, to April 21st. So just understand the clock is not our clock. Let's see here. March 21st is their new year, by the way. Let's see here. What else can I tell you? All right. How about this? Okay, so gotta understand, and I'll put a video below that's good because see, it's the little things. If you're paying attention, the Glosser channel and those Aussies down there, the Aussies are actually responsible for waking me up the rest of the way because I just went. Bleh. Okay, so what they figured out is that Australia, what they thought was their government, was actually domiciled in Washington, D.C. And then guess what? Canadians figured out that, yeah, was actually domiciled in Washington, D.C. Oh, New Zealanders. Yeah, we're slaves on this plantation. It's the Three Crowns. It's the Three Crowns. It's the Three Crowns. Okay, so United States is a corporation domiciled in Washington, D.C. That's the third crown. The first crown is Our Lady of Grace there in Vatican City, the Vatican, and that's where everything goes. See, okay, so all right, back it up. 13 Phoenician families move into the Roman Empire and basically take the thing over. Okay, we're gonna skip over, skip, and the remnant is the Vatican, which is its own city-state. And what they did was trick the people around them into thinking that they didn't, that they were their own countries and they weren't really vassals of the state. And what did they do? Oh, you just give us 10% because the Catholic Church was everywhere and in all over Europe and the Iberian Peninsula. And they collected money that way. Okay. And then they set up this thing called the City of London, came next. And through central banking, they were able to basically take over the world. They colonized the world with their brotherhoods. All right, and then and that's the secret societies, and the secrets they keep, but the secret's out. So there, take that. So the idea is that then, and see, we haven't even got up to what we've got a problem here with is the problem is the difference between geographical and political. You get confused with geographics and politics. Okay, so Washington, D.C. is its own dog, and we all know that, right? That it's not part of any other state. It's also not part of the United States of America. It is foreign to the United States of America. And Trump had to get the fuck out of there because you can't rule the United States of America from foreign soil. So understand that like when, okay, so I was in Mexico. And in Mexico, we have an embassy, and I was down there getting some paperwork for my girlfriend at the time. And she was not an American. Well, she didn't have a United States passport, and I was basically considered a U.S. person at that time. You don't want to be a U.S. person or a U.S. citizen. That's changing actually because that thing's been dissolved. Oh my God! Remember the videos I made about making the country going bankrupt and counting back from 1999 to 29 to right? Okay, get to 1871. Them bad boys. What they did was they rewrote the Constitution, changed the letters, the capital letters to United States. Okay, so that's the corporation, and because the southern states walked out and they never came back, so they made their own thing. And basically just superseded the whole process. Okay, so then from 1871, and that's why when you walk into courts, there's a lot of courts that will just straight up tell you that they don't recognize anything before 1871. Clue. All right, so then we have, fast forward, these bankers have been thwarted once by Andrew Jackson, and they are hell-bent on putting a central bank in. We already killed one central bank. We killed the second central bank. So the third central bank, they are patient, and they put it in 1913, which, when you think about it, is from 1871. It's not that many years, right? It's not even half a century. So a lot of those guys that were plotting and their children and so forth got this thing put together. All right, so now we've got our central bank again. Trump is killing, and it's not Trump. Anytime you hear me say Trump, just understand that I'm not talking about one guy. I'm talking about a whole bunch of people that had a plan, and the plan was put in place, and it started the ball rolling. I think in 1959 is when the first thing started, where Kennedy figured out, wait a minute, these secret societies and this overwhelming conspiracy. He became aware of it and how they were going to fuck the American people, and he was going to do everything in his power to try and thwart it, and kaboom. Okay, and that doesn't mean that there weren't a whole bunch of people in the armed services and other places that continued with this plan. All right, the fruition, we're here, don't be afraid, don't get chicken shit now. Things is just about to get good, promise. Do I get to talk about the White Castle? I guess I'll talk about the White Castle. Mar-a-Lago is the White Castle. The White Castle is, it's got a spliff in there. It's got 2 bunkers in there. It was going to be the Southern White House, because if winter got too bad up in D.C., they were going to move house part of the year down there. And anyway, the federal government decided never mind, and there's a whole bunch of problems because of the fact that DC, it works in DC because it's on the front, but then they'd have to make that place Mar-a-Lago foreign soil also, and then that might tip off a slave or two, and then we wouldn't want that. So anyway, it was going to be part of the national monument. Anyway, long story short, I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was a couple of, I don't know, 10, I don't know how many years ago it was. Anyway, Trump bought it for like $10 million. And then he turned it into the fairy paradise that it is now. All right. So he's got basically the other White House. It was, I mean, okay. So we'll leave it at that. All right. So now, has there ever been in your lifetime troops in Washington, D.C.? Okay. All their base are belong to us. Be of good cheer. It's a testament to how good they've done at muddying the waters and making it so that you can't get information. But First Temple fell when the Pope went down. Second Temple fell when the Federal Reserve was folded into the, okay, I can make a picture. The Federal Reserve was folded into the Treasury. So, wait, I need a picture to look at. Hold on a second. But see, every time I click away and I come back, I'm not here. Oh, and I really suggest you read the Mason's Manual for Legislative Procedure. All right, where'd I go? Oh, I closed it. Boo. Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second here. This could be fatal. I'm opening up another window. But see, I want to show you the structure here and how they did it. These guys, these guys, these guys. Okay, this is us. This is U.S. This is, what am I going to do? I'm going to call this Vatican. No, hold on a second. I got to do it right. No. Okay, I got it. This is London, City of London. Right? Okay, and so that's your 3 crowns, right? Okay, and then this is the actual Vatican. Okay, so what happened? Well, what happened was, lo que pasó es, let me come back over here. See? Oh, did I blow it? I think I might have blown it. Nope, you're still there. What do you know? All right, so what lo que pasó? What they did is, okay, they took over this one. He gone now. And this was the head of it, the child trafficking thing. This is the 3 crowns. What we're talking about here is the 3 crowns. These are the 3 crowns. This thing is one thing. Okay, so this is where all the central banks are, City of London, and through this and this, they basically set up all kind of corporations, service corporations, to administer the estates of all of us whether you're a Canadian or American or a New Zealander or a Aussie. And again, it was the Aussies that woke me up with the Gloucester Channel and Justinian Deception and all of that. Anyway, them guys did their fucking research. It was them that turned me on to, the importance of this. And then everything started going, oh. All right, so what happens in 1871 is they rewrite the Constitution using all capital letters, and they know where the fucking stupid slaves aren't going to notice that United States is not the same thing as United States of America or the United States of America, and they just made this United States corporation. Australia is a private corporation. They've figured this thing out. Canada, again, it's the private corporation. That's why the head of your private corporation swore an allegiance to the Privy Council and the Queen, not the people of or the Constitution, because that's not who he works for. All right, the people that work in D.C., that's not who do they work for? They don't work for us. They work for the bar. The bar is a crown. It's a banker authorized representatives. They are esquires. They are not Americans. Okay, so they are here to offer the Americans. They are here to be officers over the Americans in our courts, in our quote unquote law enforcement, and so forth. And what they do is they extract wealth and bring it from the colonies, and I mean Hawaii and Fiji and New Zealand, and doesn't matter if they're, you want to pretend like, do you really think that they just fucking gave it all up and said, okay, the parliaments will have it now? No, that's not how it works. 13 families basically set this baby up, and they have figured out how to profit off the whole thing ever since. And it's 13 families is not like, a family of each one of them has 4 in it. You know what I mean? Like they're big families, and you ain't in it, and neither am I. All right, so City of London gets taken. Okay, so this is the chess that the Trump boys are playing. The alliance is playing. What they did is they took the most powerful central bank, which we call the Fed, and what did they do? They folded it into the Treasury Department of that private corporation right there, known as United States, right? U.S. Okay, so U.S. now they got everybody. All right, so the game's over, the jig's up, the checkmate has happened. Now we got to explain it to the peasants, and and it's going to be a long, slow, arduous task. Although a lot of things are going to unfold in the next 90 days. I got it wrong, absolutely, because I was thinking Trump being the showman that he is, and these guys being the showman that they are, that they were going to shock the world and do all manner of arrests very quickly right after the inauguration thing that sort of happened. And that's another thing. Oops, and I just used the word that the AI can understand because they don't want you talking. We have verboten subjects now in the United States. We have, and I mean, people have told me, keep your head down. Fuck that, I'm not keeping my head down. But the idea is that, there are on certain social media, as you well know, there are certain things you're not allowed to talk about. Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of Americans are these? What kind of Americans know that the election was stolen, don't care because Orange Man bad? What kind of Americans are these? What kind of humans are these? And you guys want to reconcile and have unity with this? I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. No, I'm not. Anyway, all right. So these guys right now, it's going to be, again, remember I was telling you about 90 days, 90 days, 90 days, 90 days. All right. So 90 days, like I said, 90 days, 21 Jan. Oh, and we got to do the gematria. I can't do the gematria with you guys, but all right. Then we got 21. I'll do a little bit of it just for fun. And then 21. Okay. So 21, 21, 21. This is February, March, April. I'm hearing rumors from numerous sources. That doesn't make it true. I'm just saying, I'm hearing this, that there will be my new favorite term. And see, I think it was Red Sea moment. There's going to be a Red Sea moment. Do you remember the story about that? You remember? Yeah, okay. All of them at once. Okay. Let's see. I'm dying to see it. I'd love to. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but that would be awesome. But anyway, that's the chatter. So Cliff High, who I enjoy very much, and because he is the absolute opposite of the Q guys, and he thinks they're completely insane and blah blah. And okay. So, but Cliff uh, was basically saying, and this is the case, that see, they blinded themselves with all this censorship because see, Cliff had developed some software that was able to. And if you know who Cliff High is, then good. And if you don't, then I'm going to butcher this. But anyway, he used software um, basically to discover neuro-linguistic programming and language and the use of it that could foreshadow events. And he used predictive linguistics, basically, is what it was. But because of all the censorship, it fucked up the programs, right? Okay, it also fucked up some other people's programs that I can't get too specific about, but it basically blinded them because most probable outcomes couldn't be calculated with as clear certainty as they should have been because of the censorship itself. So a lot of times they made some calculations, let's say, and the most probable outcomes were off because the data that they put in was incomplete because of their own fucking censorship. It's so beautiful, I can't stand it. Okay, so all right, we got to do some numbers here. I'm just having fun because I'm so excited I can't stand it. I mean, be of good cheer, people. I mean, fucking everything's about to change. 6,000 patents coming our way. It's gonna have the Band-Aid, rip the Band-Aid off people, kind of, sort of, one, kind of, sort of. All right. Anyway, so now you gotta understand casting out nines first off. So then let's see here. What do we have? We have the palindromes. Okay, so they love palindromes. Like I said, these people are nuts when it comes to numbers and gematria and the Bible and fucking A. And they'll make it happen if it doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like putting Kamal in a purple dress, for fuck's sake. Anyway, all right. So did you notice that it was glum? Did you notice that, considering you would think that, yay, we're not going to be prosecuted for pedophilia anymore, and yay, we got it back, yay, we conquered back the third, yay, you would think that they would be, just couldn't stand it. You'd be able to see them smiling behind their mask. Did you notice that that's exactly not what the flavor of that was? See, because they can't do it. They don't have what we have, that empathy. So everyone I've talked to that looked at that was like, this, I mean, it just felt gloomy and glum and like a funeral, not like a celebration where they took back the White House. See, but I don't think they even noticed because they've gotten so far removed from their humanity that they, anyway. Okay, so I'm going with the other way around. The day comes first, then the month, then the year. Okay, so you're looking at let's see here. You're looking at 21. Right? Okay, and then what is this? This is 01, and then 21. All right, there you go. That was Inauguration Day. So, damn it, I said it again. All right. It's ridiculous. It's like a Monty Python movie. Anyway, 20. Okay, so wait. So I got to start here. Okay, so we can start. And if you read it backwards, it's 1 2 1 0 1 2. All right. Oh fucking A, that one didn't work. I was fooling around with them earlier. Am I correct? Oh right, because it's wait a minute. It's going to be, where am I at? I'm at, yeah. It's 01 21 21. All right, that's if you do day. See, I suck at this. Day. Wait, no, month, day, year. Okay, and then 21 01 21. There you go. All right, now so. Oh, I remember what it is. All right, so then the other one is 01 29. Yeah, that's where I fucked up right there. 0. It's 20. It's not 21. Yeah. Okay. Now we're happy. Bam. And then bam, 2, 1. All right. So when you cast out nines, these two dates, and that is it not a palindrome? Or is it 1, 2, 0? No, it's not. 1, 2, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 9. That's a 0. Because when you do your gematria, or when you're adding up numbers, you'll notice that you might as well just cast out the nines because the nines don't count. For example, I don't know, 3, 9, 7. Wait, let's go 4, 9, 7. That'll be better. And 4, 0, 7. Well, let's see here. That's going to work out to be 11, isn't it? And then that's going to work out to be 2. Well, this is going to work out to be 11, and 9 is 20, and then that works out to be 2. So you might as well just cast out the 9, right? And just go straight here instead of having to do that and do that. So anyway, the point being is that from here to here, and if you count as 0 as a day, 0, 1, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've been working with little kids all day. It's been hilarious. Like I was doing algebra. That problem that was on the board, that was a 6-year-old that I was working with. But anyway, I'm being silly. 20, and then 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. How many fingers did I just count? Oh yeah, because from 0 to 29, that works out to be 10 days. All right, so that 29 is Friday, which is, I'm making this on Monday. So on Friday, we should see something happen. Let's put it that way. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Friday's got some action in store for us. All right, so then, see, but I suck at this because I can see it backwards, but I can't do it forwards, is what I've been told. All right, so then let's see here. So then 2, 21, 21, that's going to be 02, and that's if you do the month. And then if we do 21, 02, 21, that's fun. And then let's see here. And then it's 03, 21, 21. And then that's what the one first, and then 21, 03, 21, because they're numbers. All right, there you go. And let's see here. Yeah, this is where in March, the 3rd month, you get 3s. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. No matter how you dice it. And that's just, right, 0 and 3, 2 and 1 is 3, 2 and 1 is 3, 3, 3. Anyway, so that's where you get a lot of those guys that are using the key of 3, 3, 3. Okay, and then step back to February, which is next month. That's 2, that's 3, 3, 3. That's 3, 2, 3, and crap, there was something about going backwards, 3, 3, 2, or something like that. Anyway, I don't take good notes, and gematria is is pretty much over my head most of the time. Sometimes I get it, but I can't explain it, and I'm doing a crappy job right now. All right, so let's do the last one though, just for fun, if I can see if I can get anything out of that. 4 and 21, 21, and then it's 4. Then it's 21. No, wait. It's 21, 04, 21. Yeah, that's the one. Right there. So, okay. So, and that's the Red Sea moment. Why? I don't know. But that's supposed to be, because that's 343, I guess. And that's, stay with me. 343 is 710, and 10 is 1, and 1 is the number of the new beginning. All right. But like I said, I suck at this, and don't fucking take my word for it, because this is nothing I learned until very recently. And like I said, I can go backwards, but I can't go forward. But anyway, this should be a date, and that's all the way to fucking April, where we go back to square one. How's that? That's as best as I can do. But anyway, all their base are belong to us. There's troops in DC. These guys, the power went out for like 8 hours. Same thing in Pakistan. I think there was a Q drop somewhere back there. I'm not a full-on Q-tard, but I keep track of it for sure, because that was the, if it's a PSYOP, it's a great PSYOP, because what? They gave you information and pointed you where to look. And a lot of times I went down those rabbit holes and went, oh, because of other stuff that I'd already done when my battles with the IRS were going on, 20 years ago. And I go, and it lines up, and then you see, and anyway, yeah, okay. 1871 Service Corporation, yeah, they're not giving up the ghost without a fight, but they've basically been dissolved. And now, how do you tell the people that all this time, guess what? Your courts, you thought that, right? I discovered this on my own, and I showed you with documents on these videos on this channel, that the judiciary for the state of Hawaii is a private corporation. I have their fucking DUNS number. I sent letters to the IRS, and I have, right, let them know. And they try to trap me, and I shot them right back. And geez, they've gotten silent again. So I'm going to have to write, because I don't think the IRS exists anymore. Oddly enough, because none of the numbers that I had, and I had some numbers because I had cases from way that, anyway, you get a recording. Try call the IRS and see if you don't get a recording. But anyway, the point being is that, do I have them here? I may or may not. Let's see here. But basically, just to be, for those that may or may not be familiar, right there, bam, first thing I look at. Like I said, when I asked the judge about this, it looked like I walk across her grave. It was awesome. Okay. What does this say? This says, oh, wait, I want to show you this. Well, I got it. Wait. All right. Some of you may or may not remember. There was a time when I didn't just talk to 22 people. There was a time when I used to talk to like 60 or 70,000 people at a time on this island. I had crazy numbers. There I am, the chief idiot of this. We had a FM 101 and KORL. I was the chief idiot at that station. Anyway, #1 morning show, a couple years running. It was fun. That's a past life way back in the day. That's like a long time ago, more than 30 years. Anyway, so this is sent to me. Dear sir or madam, because they can't tell. Anyway, we're responding to a request dated February 18, 2020, way the hell last year, about the tax-exempt status of the judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii. You could ask about your state's courts, right? Private corporation. We have no record of this organization having tax-exempt status under Internal Revenue Code section of 501A. Therefore, we are unable to provide any documents in response to your request. So you got to learn how to do freedom of information requests or information requests for these guys, because they're your best friends. It turns out they're your best fucking friends. All right. You can find more information about tax-exempt entities and their organizations and operational requirements in Publications 557. I recommend you get Publication 557 and read the fucking thing. It's online. It's a PDF. You can get it. Tax-exempt status for your organization. Yeah, because I don't want my organization. I was asking about these other guys. And see, I even gave them the DUNS number. And here is the form that you use to make your request. All right, now understand that you are under no duty or obligation to use their forms, by the way. unless, of course, you are chattel property of the corporation. But anyway, this is a 5506A form. Look, it even has an OMB number, and if you don't know about OMB numbers, then you need to know that, yeah, that's right. Any document that you get from the government has one of these, and if it doesn't, it's a bootleg form. Go check for OMB numbers on certain IRS forms. Anyhow, so look, if you look carefully, there is their DUNS number. Right there. It's number 007121505. If you type that DUNS number in, you will get the Judiciary Courts of the state of Hawaii. That is a private corporation, motherfuckers. They're privateers. Okay, so they are part of the private corporation known as United States. This is not conspiracy theory. Okay, United States Corporation was created in 1871. Because the southern states wouldn't come back. So they fudged it. And they even got a lot of traitorous Negroes to sit in there as senators and representatives in the Republican Party, because it's the Wigmores, it's the Wigmore Party. Republicans and Democrats, it's the same damn bird. It's the Wigmore Party. They're not your fucking friends. All right, so... And these guys are throwing them both down. That's why you see, and they played it up. They definitely played it up, that the whatever team you're on, these guys are the good guys. These are, right? They're playing both sides against the middle, Republican and Democrat. And you guys seem to forget that they were all part of this service corporation that was created in 1871 called United States. And this Constitution for this United States, the 14th Amendment, is different than the 14th Amendment of the de jure 1776 Constitution. You need these founding documents, not these founding documents. All right, this corporation is being dissolved. It's a bankrupt corporation, by the way. And who is the bankruptcy king? The bankruptcy king is Donald Trump. He has been through more bankruptcies than any motherfucker on the planet, probably. All right, and he's done it with aplomb, right? And they always make fun of him. Oh, he's bankrupt 7 times. Yeah, by the time you do it a few times with billion-dollar estates and so forth, maybe you get good at it. And maybe you can handle something as massive as what we got going on here, which is a bankrupt corporation known as United States. Now, what they did is, again, they folded the Federal Reserve into the bankrupt United States, and then they basically dissolved the thing. This was the time to strike. This was the time to do it. All of these, and then you get into Jesuits, and you get into Templars, and you get into all the Masons and all the different those guys, and then there's the Mormons, and then all the other York Rite cults, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can't tell the story without knowing about the Brotherhoods, and I'm not getting into it here because that'll just get me into all kind of trouble, and I'm probably already going to lose my channel over this anyway. But you guys need to be of good cheer. Pick up your thinking and your vibration. You should be like little kids at Christmas. But Christmas is going to take a while to get here. But I'm telling you, things is getting better so rapidly that you can barely keep up. So just be of good cheer. Holy crap, everybody's going on over here. Oh, wait, and this is the other thing. There's a great channel whose name I can't remember at the moment. Oh wait, but I bet you I have a link to their PDF. Okay, so for you Q people, you'll love this. If I can find it. That one? Yes, it is. First thing I've clicked on. What do you know? Let's start off. Let's just give me the PDF, you monkeys. Yeah, that's what I want. Just want that. All right, Bards FM. Gotta like them guys. Way on the Christian side of things, and they're a little literal about it, but close enough. All right. But they get the part where you need to be of good cheer. You need to put on the armor of God. You need to understand that justice is coming, and there's nothing that stops justice from coming, period. And the waiting is the hardest part. See, and if this wasn't such a fascist, ridiculous country, I could have a little Tom Petty playing in the background, because it is. It's like, put that song in your mind, and the waiting is the hardest part. But we waited this long, we can wait a little longer. And if not, and if we're wrong, there are hundreds of thousands of us who are armed, and that will be right. Ballot box. What is it? Soapbox. Here I am. Ballot box. Oops. Ammo box. That's how this always works. Never has not worked like this. And sometimes it wasn't ammo box. It was just, swords or plowshares into swords, sickles and pickaxes into weapons. But there's always way more of us than there are of them, which is why they're trying to get rid of us. But the idea is, no, they have failed. They have fallen into trap after trap. My son, who is only 15 years old, but has been studying because I made him study 2 games. One is chess and one is the Art of War. Well, it's not a game, it's a book. But anyway, and he explained to me, he can see what Trump's doing. And it's not, again, when I say Trump, it's not Trump, it's the alliance. He can see it. And I see it clearly also, right? So just the checkmate has happened already. It's been checkmate. They lose. Okay. They're not giving up like that, all right? They're just gonna, right? They're not gonna, sorry for breaking into the pigeon, but they're not doing it. They're not just gonna be like, okay, well, you won. Okay, their basic motto is, right? One of the most basic tenets that you will learn if you ever became learned is deny and defend until the end, right? They're not giving it up. The courts are not giving it up. Just because I have found these guys out and turns out that, yeah, they're a private corporation and the service corporation and so forth, doesn't mean that they don't still have a lot of guns and clubs. But see, we got them. Right? We got Biden's laptop. We got Wiener's laptop. This is going to be huge. And if you think that Al-Awid got arrested and taken hostage and had to pay a $6 billion dividend, and then was told, naughty, don't do it anymore. And if you think that, and he was of royal blood on top of everything else, Saudi prince, if you think they're not coming after HRC and BO and, these lowly peasant people that, yeah, they've got some descending and they can trace their lineage and so forth, but at the same time, not like a direct Saudi heir. If you think they're not coming after HRC and, oh my God, bribes and Hunter and bribes, it should be a TV show. Anyway, but and if you think I can't even talk, you guys are ridiculous. Just based on the fact that and I got kicked off, and it's interesting because I got kicked off of Facebook for posting a picture of Hunter and a little girl. Actually, a couple of pictures of Hunter and little girls, and a couple as in 2. And I got kicked off for 30 days. Other people, it's still on their page and never nothing. And other people, they what do you call it? It just says this content no longer available. I'm sure you've seen it. But with me, I got kicked off for 30 days. But just based on that alone, and they've been vetted, and those pictures are not photoshopped. That's Hunter with a little girl. Just based on that he can't be he can never get the security codes. Okay. Same thing when it comes to he's a wanted felon in Ukraine. Do we want to talk about the murder of Christians in Ukraine that they are directly responsible for? No, apparently nobody wants to talk about that because they're not Jewish. But the idea being is that there is no fucking way. There's just no fucking way. And then on top of that, yeah, he's compromised he's so compromised in so many ways, and the military knows it. Right? They have everything. Okay, so UCMJ is the only way to go, and that's the way we're going. They tried everything else. He literally, and they made a big production of it. They tried everything. They tried the courts, couldn't do it in the courts. Tried the legislators, couldn't do it in the legislators. What's left? Who's not compromised? Right? And it's not true because a lot of those guys were compromised, and they were weeding out the ones that weren't compromised with all kind of questionnaires that they had no business. But see, some of those guys answered because they knew that they didn't want to be relieved of their duties, so they made it sound like they were one of them, and they wasn't one of them. All right. So anyway, the point being is that the military is not compromised. They're holding up to their oaths. Their oaths tell them that they have to protect, and it's not. They're not loyal to Trump. They're not fucking loyal to Biden. They're not supposed to be loyal to either one of these men. They're loyal to the Constitution, right? And the Constitution they are upholding is, oops, I erased it. Is not the 1871, the other one, right? All enemies, foreign and domestic. There is a domestic enemy on foreign soil inside the boundaries of the North Sea, and that's what I mean. Geography and policy, geographical and political. You got to get your head around the fact that the North American continent was cut up into states, but under those states, certain elements like the Dutch East India Company or the remnants thereof, the Vatican, certain royalty of the British Isles and so forth still own the land underneath it, which they stole from Moors and Indians. What is Moorish Latin? Oh yeah, Spanish. What are Indians in, right? Moors. So we had these Spanish-speaking Indians on the North American continent previous to the arrival of the British and the Dutch and the others. Because, yeah, Kentucky, yeah, that's Kem is Egypt. Kentucky is the Egypt, the Little Egypt in when you travel up the tributaries of the Mississippi River. They hid it from you. They burned the books. They had a reformation, and they told you that the oceans were barriers and that Morocco was Western Morocco. Yeah, that's North America. That's what you'd like to call it, is North America, but it was Western Morocco. It was also known as Americo. For anyway, yeah, Morocco, the Morocco, America. If it's just a couple of alveolar stops different, right? Anyway, and Amir, Ika, right? Morocco. Anyway, the idea being is that there were people here called Moors and Indians that you well know this story. They were here before the settlers got here and the pioneers. What's a pioneer? Find out that it's not what you think. The pioneers were and go look it up. The pioneers were the ones that went out ahead of the armies, and a lot of times they brought their wife and kids with them, or children, pardon me, and guns, and they went out and scoped out the frontier. The frontier being the settled empires of many different Indian tribes and Moroccans and Moors and others, and the Spaniards and the Portuguese and all kind of people were here. Anyway, and what they did is they went out ahead of the Bluecoats and told them, oh, there's resources, there's gold, there's rivers, there's forests, there's farmland, there's orchards, etc. And then the Bluecoats came in. And then they told you the story about how they tamed the wild frontier from people that were already there and had cultivated it. And there are stories that they burned as well as they could about being able to drive carriages through these forests, which were laden with fruit, and because the Indians were smart enough to make food for us. And by the way, the Indians don't call themselves Indians. We called them Indians, right? Those savages. And a lot of those dark-skinned Indians were Moors. And by the way, I descend from them through my father's side. Okay. And they were, in fact, enslaved on the Rogers plantation. My boy's mother, they were enslaved on the Boone plantation, Blackfoots and Cherokees and other Moors. All right, we were here before there was a United States corporation, before right? Okay, so they came in, and then we had treaties of peace, and if you go look them up, and if you take a look at your Constitution, damn it, the first article tells you that this Constitution honors all treaties. All right, so those peace treaties with the indigenous people, or the people that were there before, and you guys too, everybody, all of us, we're supposed to be given inalienable, unalienable, and inalienable. All right, those are terms that seem to be giving people a hard time. Unalienable. can't be liened. You can't put a lien on it. You can't put a contract on the right. There is no lien, right? And you get, so do you understand what liens are in contracts? Probably not. So you should probably look that up and know what a lien is. But anyway, you have rights that can't be liened. All right. Then there's inalienable rights. Doesn't matter, fundamental rights, but okay. Inalienable rights cannot be alienated. You cannot be alienated from your rights. You are at the moment alienated from your what you thought was your republic through pledging and a birth certificate. Okay, so but see, what you're going to demand is just your fundamental rights. You want your estate, you want your inheritance, you want your right. Okay. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but you were up until quite recently chattel property for United States Corporation. United States Corporation has gone entirely bankrupt, and it is in receivership as we speak. And while it's in receivership, you get to watch a show with Joe, starring Joe. Anyway, I'm not lying. I'm telling you, it was a private corporation. The private corporation has been dissolved. Ain't nobody happy about it in the Caligula class. And what are they going to do about it? Because the guys with the most guns and the best surveillance are basically throwing the Whore of Babylon off. And getting the ticks off of you when they're that big is going to be a bit of a task. It's not over yet. Okay, so... and then here, just take a look. There's a part in 26 USC, which is what you call the tax code, which is, by the way, not positive law. Applies to a very specific class of people. There's one line in there, and you can search it if you have a searchable thing that says, includes trade or business. These are two words you need to know a little bit about. Trade. Okay, so let's say you're a tradesman. That means that you're going to come to somebody's house, say you're a plumber, an electrician, or a builder, or a carpenter, and so forth. That's a tradesman. What are you trading? You are trading your skill or your labor, usually for now, debt, right? They pay you in debt. They've got us using their debt. They've got us using voucher... Stick with this, I can't remember it. I got to get that one wired. That it is it's evidence of debt that we trade with each other. But in the old days, maybe you'd get a chicken, or maybe they'd cook you dinner, or maybe you get vegetables. I had several clients for a while there. It was great. They would bring me a big ass box of vegetables instead of paying me my hourly fee for tutoring. Okay, because I'm a tradesman. I'm not selling you something like, okay, stick with trade or business. All right, so, but that's trade. That's a tradesman. Okay, that's when you're trading. Okay, so they've changed it where they've interceded into our trade, and they make us use their Federal Reserve notes, right? Okay, business. Okay, business, and it's just business. I buy this. Somebody makes this. I didn't make this. Okay, and then, oh, yeah, so... I buy it for a dime and I sell it to you for 2 dimes. Okay. And then if I'm smart, everybody else is selling them for 2 dimes and a nickel, and I sell them for 2 dimes. You think you got a good deal, even though, right? Okay. That's business. Okay. When you sell something that you didn't make. So let's say you're a furniture maker. All right. You're still a tradesman. But now let's say you are a merchant where you buy furniture from people in Indonesia for cheap, put it in a container, and then import it into the United States. Well, okay, now there's all kind of stuff that's going to be subject there. But let's just skip all through that, and finally it gets into your store. Well, what you've done is you haven't made these things. What you've done is you've bought them at a lower price, and you're hoping to turn around and sell them at a higher price. That's business. Okay, all of this, and you can hear there's a great interview with Shaq. I met Shaq. That is a mountain of a man. I mean, yeah, I'm 6, and I was a shrimpy shrimp next to that guy. But anyway, Shaq says, ain't but one thing. And what is it? What did he say? Oh shoot, I can't remember the exact quote. Commerce, but it boils down to commerce. Ain't but one thing, and it's commerce. All of this is considered commerce. All right. So there's two kinds of way to go about this, right? And by the way, that you understand the fact that if it includes one thing, it excludes everything else, unless it says including but not limited to, or among others, or whatever. But if it just says includes, then that's it. Everything else is excluded. That's maxim of law. Okay, so you've got two kinds of commerce. You got your commerce is in the private and in the public. All right, so private and pub. Okay. And notice they both start with P, P resident. We'll get into it. But okay, on the public side, those are supposed to be your government entities, government agencies, United States of America, Republic, that stuff. All right. They are not incorporated per se. They are government entities, right? Then you have on the private corporations. Okay. So what did they do? They took you. Here's you. You were born. And for however many, maybe a couple of days and so forth, you were a free individual upon the land. You were a man or a woman on the land. And then what they did, through unlawful conversion, ULC bullshit. Just it's unlawful conversion. They converted you into a dead thing. The dead thing has an all caps name. And then they make derivatives off of that. All right. In my case, one of my derivatives, and see, this was made clear to me by my grandmother, so we'd always know. This comes from way back when in the day. This is in the 1970s. But if you look at it, this account has since been closed, but I still bank at this bank. You can see that, and see, this is back when they used to tell you things, right? If you just read the documents, you can pause that. Let's see here. Joint tenants with rights of survivor. I don't own this fucking account. I'm a tenant. Look on your mortgage. Anyway, this was a passbook savings account I got when I was in like 6th grade. And I had to get it with my mother because I was not the age of majority. So it was Ben Rogers, care of Joyce A. Rogers, my mother, who is long since deceased. But the middle initial, and that's the letters I've been having with the IRS, and that actually saved my ass. But that is a derivative of my all caps name that's on my birth certificate, right? So they write derivatives on that. And now there's trust insurances on that, right? So they can have all kind of stuff going on. You got 10 trusts going on there because especially, and this is the other thing, this is why you'll notice if you listen to names, you'll hear 3 names or 2 names or 2 names with an initial and so forth, and it makes a difference to them when they're doing news. So the dead thing, all caps. We're going over this again. John Quincy Adams. That's a dead thing. Okay, this thing, you are, if you're, and you think you're John Quincy, okay, the Capitis Dominus Maximus is a thing. Diminutio Maximus is a thing. You would think that this would be the, and we're taught this backwards, that this would be the most important because it's in all caps. All right. No, that's the dead thing. Then there's title case, the title of it, of this thing. Okay, I don't know. All right, Adams. All right. And then there's the living thing. Then there's the most important of it, the thing that gives genesis to all of this other stuff, to all of these derivatives, which is written in no capital letters. So I'm going to make that a That's, even though he's on the bottom, this is the head, right? Okay, not this. This represents that. Okay, so when you walk into Walmart, um, as a man or a woman, and you gather up your goods and stuff that's in Walmart that you want, okay, you go to the checkout counter. The person at the checkout counter is not Walmart. The person at the checkout counter probably is, Lucy or whoever the heck she is, right? Anne or whatever, Samantha. There's just some woman there. She is not Walmart. She represents Walmart. Walmart is a dead thing. Walmart is a corporation. Okay, that corporation and you cannot contract. So what you do is you pull out a card or a check or some kind of thing that you are authorized to represent. And if you look on your checks, it'll say on that line that you thought was a signature line, and you get your happy magnifying glass out, it'll say authorized representative there. Okay, so you are authorized to represent this account that you don't own. Well, in this case, it was, but I mean, even if it was my checking account, same difference. If you look in there and it doesn't say right on your checks anymore, or right in the stuff. But if you look at your paperwork, it will tell you that as you're a joint tenant with right to survivorship, or you're a sole tenant with, or whatever. But you're a tenant; it's not yours. Which is why they can take money out of your account with no problem, and so on, because you don't own it; they do. But they do it by proxy, and that's a whole other issue that I don't have time to get into. But the point being is that your dead thing then can transact with the other dead thing, and you get your goods and services, and you have transferred your debt to them, right? Because what is that? Can I find it fast? Every time. You guys should just type it. You should know this by now. You've been in school long enough. Let's see here. My notes keep getting bigger and bigger and longer and longer. No, wait, we gotta use exactly the right term, because it's evidence of debt. There is no money, and once you realize there is no money, you can have as much as you want. That is not a false statement. Okay, so but once you see all of this, how this all fits together, you'll understand what's happening right now is not well, shouldn't be so much of a mystery to you. Let's put it that way. Did Trump, after all of that, didn't just go, okay, my bat, my ball, my glove, I'm going home. That's not what happened. And how do you know? Because the Capitol has troops in it. Has there ever been troops in the Capitol in your whole life? Just, I mean, simple. Did he get sworn in at 10 minutes to noon? Trump was still president at 10 minutes to noon. Why do you swear in the guy before it says specifically noon? He was president until noon that day. Did he get a 21 gun salute? Okay, so I'm amazed that I can even keep doing this, because I mean, every other time I've had nothing but troubles. And like I said, this may be the one that gets my channel removed, but who cares? At this point, you know about Rumble, I'm not on Rumble, but BitChute is another thing. Lots of other people are on, and we'll be able to come back here soon enough, because this is going to get turned into a utility. All right, so I can't find it again. Can't find it. Federal Reserve notes. Oh, there's me reminding myself about Deodams. But Federal Reserve, there we go. Licensed voucher transfer instruments of debt. That's what you did. You took that piece of paper, which you think is money. It's not. It's a licensed voucher transfer instrument of debt. We haven't paid anything since like 1964, when they took the silver out of the money. Or maybe 1969. We're still using a few of those. But overall, nobody's paid for nothing, because all we've done is transfer debt back and forth to each other. That's why debits and credits. And then understand, black or white. That's it. See, what used to happen back in the old days is the exchequer. They used to count and coins and other things on a cloth, which was on a bank, on a table, and so forth. And it was a checkered cloth, right? Depending on who they were, you would kind of sort of know who they were by if it was red or white checkers, or black or white checkers. The black or white checkers, not the good guys. Gee, what's the black and white? Anyway, okay. So and then they they get bored and they play chicks, and that's where we got the game of checkers. But they used to use those squares. So like say you've got so you put some of the silver coins in that square, and you put some of the golds in that ones, and then you put your pieces of 8 over here, and then there's some right. Okay, so they're on the different squares, and then it helps you keep track back in the day before all of this. Okay, that's where some of the symbolism comes from, by the way. All right, so there are 2 colors though. It's black or white. All right, so slave or master. That's it. There isn't any in between. If you are a free man, you're a free man. If you're a bonded free man, you're not a free man. You're a slave. Okay. The slaves are being set free, and they're actually fighting against it. It's freaking awesome because they're so fucking ignorant and dumbed down. It's hilarious. But and this is why again the Democrats and Republicans are so pissed off, because they always get pissed off when somebody tries to free their slaves. Now maybe you're starting to get the relationship between Trump and the 2 of them. Lincoln seems to show up quite a bit. That's how far back this goes, guys. And Andrew Jackson seems to show up quite a bit. And JFK seems to show up quite a bit in all of this, right? Okay. Study those 3 men and understand that we have been at war with the bankers forever. And they set up a very devious and conniving system of enslavement, trafficking in the flesh of humans, giving us numbers, but don't put it on them because they get pissy when you tattoo them, and they get pissy when you put chains around them. So what you do is you chain them to the sky using documents like, I don't have them. Oh, maybe I have one over here. Do I have a copy here? Yes, I do. Oh, no, I don't. Using documents like this is a title to a car. Not that one. Really, I don't have any more of these. I do not. It's in the other green folder, isn't it? Maybe I do this one. Oh, no, I won't, because they're all... I know what I do. All right, anyway, so the point being... Oh, yeah, okay. Well, here's a copy of them. The originals are elsewhere. But there you go. So there's like social security numbers and well, anyway, copy of what is that? That's a passport and driver's license, social security numbers, etc. These documents right here, which have once again their genesis in you, and you got those documents by getting that first pledging document, which was the birth certificate. So, like I said, you start off free. And then they convert you from this, the free baby, who is, by the way, can you enter into a contract? Oh, no, those contracts were entered in for you. So wait a minute, they can't be valid and binding upon you. And it's actually fraudulent to try and say they are if you weren't age of majority when this thing happened. So anyway, they convert this thing into that thing. And then from here, there's going to be all kinds of derivatives. There's going to be Adams, John Q. There's going to be Adams, John Quincy. There's going to be John Quincy Adams in all caps. There's going to be John Q. Adams. Don't forget about that guy. There's another one. Right, John Q. Adams, and there'll be bunches of insurances and all kind of crap on that. Right, and that might be the name on your mortgage and all kind of. I mean, there's going to be all kind of sureties. There's probably going to be about 10 trusts that are created for you, supposedly for your benefit, but you don't get any benefit from it. And you can ask them, what's the benefit of this trust again? And they can't tell you because you don't get any benefit from it. They get benefit from it. You are the Duracell. You are the signature. You are the thing that makes this thing happen. All right. So all of it, the whole freaking system depends on you and your ignorance. Not understanding that the living man and your labor and your ability to, like, even these documents, right? This document right here. All right. I can make this document. All they can do is copy this document. They can't make an original document like this. All right. So it's your ability to sign your signature that, okay, and then they're going to say, okay, we're going to take future labor from you. Right? Insurance contract. All right, they sell those bonds. They know that because of the law and because of all the what you think is law and statutes, the statute merchants have tricked you into thinking that you have to have insurance if you have a car. So once you get a vehicle, they can say, all right, well, your insurance premiums are $200, and then they understand how interest works on that, or $200 every month and so forth. All right, well, they can start writing bonds on that and other instruments. Insurance is the biggest. All right. So your book tells you thou shalt not tempt thy God. All right. That might not mean what you think it means. There is no trust. So you do not want to put, and you have seen now with your own eyes that these people are not worthy of your trust. They can't do it. They cannot. They always dip their fingers in. I have many friends who are trust babies, and the trustees, that's always the problem. They pay themselves too much and make all kind of expenses and so forth that the trust pays for, that they have no business, because what they should be doing is making sure that that money gets to the beneficiary of the trust. But in managing the trust, they pay themselves handsomely. That's always been the case. That's always going to be the case. And what they've done is set them a bunch of trusts and using you as one of the trustees and then voting by proxy for you. All right, so you need to sever some of those bonds, those chains to the sky. And the way you do that is by revoking your power of attorney from these guys. And so you make it so that no one else can vote by proxy for them. And if this is going over your head, well, then maybe you should read Trust Law for Dummies and Contract Law for Dummies, and maybe listen to some Patrick Devine tapes or recordings. But the idea being is that these guys have set up trusts in this corporation, and those trusts are being collapsed because those trusts belong generally to the bankers who as the Federal Reserve, but the families that own the Federal Reserve have you in their trust. You are the chattel property. You are the collateral. You are the full faith and credit of the bankrupt corporation known as United States, and that bankrupt corporation is basically being dissolved and dismantled, and the republic is being restored. And then it's not. And then it's already that complicated. It gets a whole lot more complicated than that, because there are others. And that's so far above my pay grade. I'm not even going to start. I hope this was useful to you. Let me go look over a few of these things. But I'm telling you, what's happening is that all these corporations are going bye-bye. United States Corporation, right? And then when people say, this is a misnomer too. When they say that you're a corporation, or that they converted you into a corporation through unlawful conversion, no, they converted you into a corporate citizen. You don't have a board of directors. You don't have a president and CEO. It's not you. You're not all those different positions that corporations have. What you are is a corporate person. Corporate personage is what they've done. So what you are is a U.S. person or a U.S. citizen. And those citizens and persons are parts of the corporation. And that corporation, if you are English speaking, is domiciled in Washington, D.C. Some other corporations that people think are their republics and kingdoms and what have you are domiciled in the city of London. And then others of them are actually domiciled in the Vatican. But overall, for the English speakers, it is Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C., again, foreign soil has been conquered, has been occupied. And see, where's D.C.? D.C. gets its lease from the Vatican. They are the ones that own the actual land underneath the state. Because, like I said, the geography and state. Oh my God, I can't even get close. Can I do it? Nope. Here's my terrible artwork. Oh my God. Nope. All right. Oh, getting close. Yucatan. Yeah, whatever. There's Florida over here. So this is supposed to be the Gulf of Mexico. This is supposed to be. All right. Yeah, whatever. God. All right. So Maine. And then there's a whole bunch more going up here because that's Canada. This is supposed to be the United States. All right. The horrible drawing. And here's Baja Peninsula. All right, so not even close. All right, what they did is let's take whatever. Let me make that. And then there's islands over here and whatever. All right, so and then we get down here, and then there's this whole other continent down here. All right, so from here to here, Mexico, and then from here to here, United States. Oh, that gets Mexico, and then from here to here, Canada. This one, and this one are in one empire, and this one down here, and a bunch of these other ones are in another empire because it's the Spanish. But it's all comes back to the Vatican. And you can tell that because if you go all over here and in Hawaii and in Fiji, and I've been in Canada, there is that Red Cross everywhere. The church is everywhere. So that was one way they were collecting their tithing. Another way they collect their tithing is from the chattel property, is through the licenses, fees, and taxes and fines. Now, see, this is the thing. You're going to find out that, wait a minute, these courts, that's where I started off, are not able to fine or imprison. What? Because they're private corporations, because they're administrative they're service what? Yeah, they're service corporations. So because they're service corporations, they're not de jure governments. So you weren't breaking laws, you were breaking codes and statutes, and you voluntarily went along with it because of the contracts, the invisible contracts, the adhesion contracts you had when you were pledged by your parents who didn't know what the fuck they were doing when they signed that birth certificate, but those pledges still stand because you never rescinded them. Okay, so now, defunct corporation, I don't know who you're going to write to, honestly, because the corporation is defunct and the new thing hasn't been set up yet. So you got to sit tight. But the point being is that we've got stuff happening ahead of us in the next 90 days. Pray for the Red Sea moment, and the Red Sea moment being all of them at once, right? That's like that's the Red Sea moment. But in the meantime, between now and the Red Sea moment, there's all kind of stuff that's going to start happening. You're going to see, oh, they're going to try and impeach Trump. How do you impeach a guy that isn't even president anymore? Oh, for insurrection? Oh, okay. So that means that you get to have a trial. That means that both sides get to present evidence. That means that things might not go quite as well as they think. All right. We'll leave it at that. Holy crap. Holy crap. You guys are busy over here. Yes, I am live and streaming, and my computer is not acting up, and there you go. Hit the like button. Like and subscribe. All right. This person's cracking me up. Yes, that's true. Much more press than people at the inauguration. And the other thing, oh, I did it again. We can't use the word. We're not allowed to talk about it. We're not slaves. We can't talk about these things. We can't talk about stolen stuff and nothing. But the idea being that, yeah, that was a funeral. That was not a happy time. And now they're all dudes. They're not all dudes. Some of them are actually women. But yeah, there's a lot of them. And just understand that there's more than one. If you look carefully, I mean, what they've done, is there not contests for like best Elvis impersonator and best what? Okay, so there's people that can impersonate these people for money. There's also, yeah, I can't get down those roads because that's crazy talk, but there's also other ways of, I mean, body doubles and so forth. Let's see here. That's it. Courts are for commerce. It's commerce. They ain't but one thing: commerce, 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 commerce. That's it. So when you engage in commerce, most of the time you don't even know what you're doing because they've made commerce this whole other thing. But if you are in the private and you start engaging in commerce in the public, that by definition makes you a privateer. Well, the courts are definitely private corporations, as I showed you quite clearly. Got the confirmation from the IRS itself that these are not for profit government agencies. This is a private service corporation with a DUNS number. So we're gonna fine you. You can't fine me. We have to have a contract. And see, this is the thing. The contract that they trick you into signing. Here's the contract that they trick you into signing here in Hawaii. You said not finding it because I'm looking at the wrong folder. All right, not that one. There it is. And again, the Glossa Channel and the Aussies using this thing right here showed me that everything in the boxes is not on the page. So what you're basically signing is the one that's not in the box, that you're a defendant. Oh, now you're a defendant. Now they can extract wealth from you using the codes that they sold you. But if you're like me and you have a red pen, you write no contract on that thing. And I'm working on it right now. I'm telling. When the bully on the playground, you run to the teacher and tell. Yeah. I'm telling, and you're going to get a spanking because fraudulent conveyance of language. And see, I know the Postmaster General. Let's see here. Do I have it? The Postmaster General is all about not using the post for fraudulent conveyance of language. All right, that's not the one. I was just looking at it. Well, I'll be right back because it's right there. I think. Yes. Oh, no, it's not. Oh! All right, dang it. I got too many folders running around here. It's not that one. Oh, it's right there. Is it that one? You said? No, it is not that one. All right, I was just looking at it. All right. But I wanted to show it to you because I hate when that happens. Because I was, in fact, just looking at it. Oh, well. What it is, or what I'm looking for, that I can't find, is a document that they sent me. See, and this is the thing. Whenever they send you anything, you should look it over very, very carefully. And I mean, any piece of paper that the government gives you, even if it's a form for benefits. All right, it's not there. And it's not there. That's, how about right here? Yes. And that's not where it's supposed to be. That's why. Okay. This was sent through the mail. Naughty, naughty. You can't use the mail to fraudulently convey language. I'm telling the postmaster. All right, so here on this little piece of paper, right off the bat, you see the all caps there where it says State of Hawaii? Well, fucking A, 604 Hawaii Revised Statutes tells me that the style of process for the State of Hawaii is the State of Hawaii, not State of Hawaii in all caps. In fact, State of Hawaii in all caps, that's not even English because you need some dashes to put those words together. So anyway, they're fraudulent, and then in all caps, in the family court of the Second Circuit. Really? Who are you? Again? Okay, and the State of Hawaii? Okay, and then let's see here. So I look on this document, and I find, look, all caps again. So basically, and look, looks all official and notice what side they sign on, motherfuckers, right? They don't sign on this side, they sign on that side, and then they stamp on that side too. That's why that thing running around with Donald Trump on the internets that says like, you Joe, I know I won, and all right. He signed over here. No, the president would never sign on that side of the document. If fuck about all, that was just something that somebody made up and put on the internet to look cute, because he would never sign up. And if you look at any executive order, he's either here or there. Usually it's in the middle. Medicant. But anyway, this right here is fraudulent conveyance of language, and I got it in the mail. Go look up what the penalty for this is. It's like $25 million. But most people don't know who to complain to, and most people can't prosecute. But see, the bottom line here, kids, is that they need all the help they can get, and they're looking for help. How's that? So go after don't just sit on the sidelines. Now, understand you can't do jack at the moment, probably because you lack status and standing. You haven't been seated. You haven't gotten out from under the horror of Babylon, probably. I don't know who I'm talking to here, but if I was talking to people like that, you wouldn't be watching this, I guarantee it. So, I mean, they're not watching. But the idea is that once you do get status and standing, you can allege, and you can help out, and you can sue bonds, and you can do all that kind of stuff. So learn how to do it. Learn about liening and how liens work. Let me go put that video in here. See, here's yet another clue. Okay, put the PDF in. Go look at that. Nope. Nope. Still no. Still no. Still no. Oh, for Pete's sakes. All right, fine. Go look at history. See, we're trying to do this on a fly so I can look at it and I don't have to think about it when I come back. All right, we're going to history. And in history, actually, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of these videos in here. How about this one? Perfect. This is awesome. All right, so see, this is how you see one thing lead to another. This is how he figured out, and the same thing with the Glossop channel, that wait a minute, wait just a confound minute. Something's going on here. Wow, you guys have been typing away. There you go. Yes? Yes? And that's never going to happen. All right. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, come on. And do you think they're going to put this guy in charge of Space Force? Really? Really, really? Just stop. You have good cheer. Things are happening. The world isn't over. The bad guys didn't win. We didn't lose DC. None of that happened. Right, let me give you this BitChute video right here. Oh, shoot. That's not the right one. Yeah, I'm not going to put that there. All right, and then there's one other thing I wanted to give you, which I believe was this. I'll give it to you again. All right, so, oh, and then also, here's a list of treaties. This is kind of good. All right, so let's put that over here. You can click this. That's him, isn't it? Yes, and then one more thing I want to give you is this. You should know, I mean, you can't claim your rights if you don't know your rights. And then you understand that there are some treaties that have been made that are all of us, everybody on the planet. Okay. All right, peeps. Be of good cheer. Like I said, nothing happening right now. Everything's there. This is the time. This is the time to test your soul. This is the time. But be of good cheer. Do I look upset? Do I look unhappy? Let's put it this way. I don't know how we get there, but I know where we're going. There's going to be some pitfalls. This is war. This is actual war. So that not everything works out the way you want, and sometimes you gotta, you get spanked, and you gotta take a step back. Um, this is one thing in many. If you study tactics and battle and so forth, a lot of times you can fall back and cause more damage than you can on a retreat if you fall back and you know what you're doing, and especially if that ground is well protected, so that as you're falling back, you're wiping. All right. So anyway, and then you can move forward again, and then you can counterattack, and then okay, I know where we're going. Where we're going is the restoration of the republic. That's where we're going. Restoration of your rights. He's going to give. He said it numerous times. The power back to the people and away from the whore of Babylon that is sitting in the Temple of Liberty in D.C. That's what's happening. It's not just the United States. I mean, I know you all think, oh, we're the most important thing ever in the whole wide world. Well, yeah, okay, we are, but not. There's a whole other planet that is also throwing off this same yoke of the deep state. The whole Rona thing should be pretty clear to you. The Cerveza influenza, that it was a worldwide thing, that they are a worldwide organization. And that they've been using this software that I can't name that has to do with dominatrixes and stuff, having over other people. So yeah, they've been using these machines in all manner of countries to put in the scourge of socialism and make people think, well, you voted for it. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Just like we didn't do this for this guy. The landslide was, that was a phenomenon. He was filling 5 stadiums a day. And then for people to be like, oh, well, I guess he lost then. Okay. And now they're overdoing it. Now, if you ask me, they are in fact making it look like, it's just too much. It's too, like everything. Or, you know what? Fuck you. You need a feeder and fuck you. You need insulin. Fuck you too. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to reprint that, repeal that. Let's join the Primus Accords. Let's roll some tanks into Syria. Let's, fuck all you pipe fitters that endorse me. Yeah, we're not going to do that. And then understand this part of it. And now I don't remember the name of that railroad, but they're friends with Biden's and Democrats. The pipeline, the oil is still going to come. It's just not coming down the pipeline. You move the oil in the pipeline, in the Keystone pipeline, and take a look at Keystone. A lot of clues there. But that's like $10 a barrel to move oil from all the way from over there all the way down to Texas. It's like costs $10 a barrel. All right. Or you can put it on trains and tanker trucks or tanker, what do you call them? Tanker trains. I don't know. Wait, the tankers. And then that's $30 a barrel. And just so happens that the company that would be picking up the slack for closing down the pipeline is a donor to the Democratic Party. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. So anyway, the idea being is that they're kind of hamming it up. You're watching a show. It's theater. They're making even people that were like Orange Man bad are starting to go, wait a minute, I'm going to pay more tax. Wait a minute. Okay. And then even the dimmest among them are starting to notice that, hey, suddenly we're opening up. Suddenly, Homeboy says he has no plan, but at the same time, let's open up again. It's just, right. It's like, it's just, they're making it blatantly obvious. And maybe here's some fun conspiracy theory for you. Maybe, just possibility. I know it's crazy talk. Certain people might be serving out certain sentences, and part of their sentence is to wake up and red pill and actually be on the team and show and be a absolute negative example of what can happen if you don't pay attention. And that's part of their sentence. And before they get put to death. Anyway, because like I said, can you not notice the pallor? Got come back to that over and over again. I was just amazed because I didn't want to watch it, but then I was like, I gotta go. And then, here's another thing. I had I made this in the other video and it got deleted, and I didn't delete that. Damn it. Well, I did, but I didn't, because what it was an endless loop, and I couldn't get out of it. And it happens over and over again, only when you mention certain sensitive subjects, or when I was trying to read to you certain things. They literally have got us to the point where there's stuff you can't talk about. It's going to get better, though. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse before it gets better, but it's going to get better. And like I said, 6,000 patents coming your way. You're going to have the guy right down the street. There's a guy not far from here. There's a bunch of weirdos on Maui. I'm not the only one. That has the spark plugs that turn water into fuel, right? Spark plugs that turn. Anyway, there's that. He's been suppressed and all that. Anyway, free energy, anti-gravity, all manner of propulsion that'll blow your mind. Just 6,000 patents, all of them buried not because of national security, but because it would actually behoove the nation. The corporation, it's the corporation's security. The corporation's security is secured by the petrodollar, and anything that threatens that fuel source is a problem. And if you think they're going to give it to us all at once, you got another thing coming. And it's not like all 6,000 patents are going to get dumped on us in next Friday. But it's coming. Is my point. Like I said, a lot of big, huge. The financial system is changing. Get yourself some gold and silver, mostly silver. But there are many big things that are changing rapidly. We have gone from. Actually, it's this way that we're going through the zodiac. There is 12 signs in the zodiac, and we just went from Pisces to Aquarius. That's terrible. Meow. There you go. We're traveling this way, and the age of Pisces just ended, and the age of Aquarius has begun, and those Pisceans don't want to let go of their power and can't understand that the structure is changing. Literally, the structure is changing, and the consciousness is in fact rising. That's why I want to make this video, so at least 24 or a few of you are of good cheer and aren't giving them lucre and aren't like, oh no, Biden's president. Really? Really, people? All right. Be of good cheer. I'm telling you, smile. Be happy. It's like Christmas. Be like a kid at Christmas. Just wait for the shoe to drop. You know that they stole the thing. You know the thing that they stole. They stole it. You know that homeboy didn't kill himself. You know that. You know that Ghislaine didn't just go, okay, well, I'm done talking now. Right? You know that they got Wiener's laptop. You know that they got, and I know you say, well, then how come they didn't use it before? Okay, I'll take it. But at the same time, they got Wiener's laptop. They got Hunter's laptop. They got all the operatives who are of the them guys. We know who they are, and there's quite a few of them, and they're freaking fanatics. Anyway, and they're in all kind of places in business and all over the place. All right. Anyway, so we got that information. They had an excellent plan, and it was working because they had infiltrated our government to the nth degree. Well, they got found out, and a counter plan was countering them, and now they don't win anymore. Because what was happening is that, they had numerous House and Senate members. They had at the state level also, not just at the federal level. Even in some cases, the county level. Fucking A. They had gotten into all manner of places to try and get the just something simple like vaccines. Oops, shouldn't have said that out loud. But anyway, just something simple like that. Okay, so certain manufacturers in China want to market those highly profitable products that you do like that with to the. Okay, so what do? You make it the law. You can't go to school without it. You can't go, right? Who manufactures them? They do. It's just money. It's just business. They're just doing business. They don't give a fuck about your kids. They don't care if they get hurt, right? Just mandate the thing so we can make some money off of this shit. That's all it is. Okay, so that, and that's the other thing. He's taking them all on. He's taking on Pharma, taking on the Crown, taking on, well, Pharma is part of the Crown through the City of London. But I mean, that the whole thing, they're fighting the whole thing, and they're winning is the amazing thing. Though that they've gotten as far as they have, and Trump hasn't been turned into smithereens, is amazing, right? I mean, truly amazing. And apparently they made numerous attempts. Now, here's the thing. Coming back from if you want to get to the really, let's back up to the conspiracy theory of all conspiracy theories, is what if like I said, Trump is the enemy of your enemy, but he's not your friend? What if that's still the case? Now, he looked to me like he's trying to free the slaves. Looked to me like he's trying to get you out from under the whore of Babylon. Looked to me like he's trying to throw down these child traffickers. But you got to understand that who's throwing down the child traffickers? Oh, that's right, the baby bombers. The guys that bomb baby. It's like, oh, we missed, and we wiped out that village of women and children, and there's a dead donkey and so on. Who cares? We better luck next time. Those are the good guys, right? Those are the guys that are good guys that are supposed to be on team good guy. Okay, I'm not so sure, but anyway, they were going after the guys that actually take infants and do the most atrocious and horrifying things. Okay, actually, I'll pick the baby bombers over the ones that would do that kind of stuff, because these guys draw the line there, right? They would never do such things to children on purpose, right? If you miss when you're bombing the bad guys, well, that's one thing, but I mean, you wouldn't actually go and do horrifying things like that. All right. Same thing. Like, I know a lot of Masons that they draw the line at children. I know Masons that don't draw the line at children. Well, I don't know them. I know of them, but I know a lot of Masons and that's how I know these others, because there are those that absolutely fucking draw the line at children. You don't harm children. Left-hand path, harm children. Oops. Left-hand path, harm children. Or right-hand path, do not harm children. This is the easiest choice you'll ever have to make in your life. And if you can't figure out that harming children is left-hand path, is evil, is wrong, well, sorry for you. And there's no justifying it. There's no rationalizing it. There's no any of that. And I don't rationalize it when it comes to, say, abortion. I don't rationalize it when it comes to war. I don't rationalize it ever. You don't harm children. You just don't. They're innocent. You don't harm children. Why is this hard? All right. This whole thing revolves around the fact that some guy just went way back when and he was a billionaire, and he decided, when he found out about it, that he would do something about it. All right. And it all blends together nicely, because you have, he was vetted, right? Assange had nothing on him. 2 million documents, I think it was. Nothing. They had nothing. Grab him by the pussy. About as good as they could do. All right, so they vetted this guy, and he was all about, we got to do something about this traffic. And for the first time, and we're going to get rid of all of it? No, I don't think we'll get rid of all of it. Are we going to get rid of a lot of it? Yes. Are we going to knock these guys on their ass again? Yes. Are they going to go underground again? Yes. Are they going to come back up again eventually? Yes. Tolkien told you the same story. Right? See, and the 3 crowns, Tolkien told you about 3 rings. The one ring that bound them all, contracts. Tom Bombadil put the ring on and didn't do anything, because he was a man, and he was free of contracts. He was in the private, out of it, right? With his fair-haired girl in his yellow boots dancing around in the forest. That's who you want to be. Where those contracts don't make, because you're not engaged in contracts. You're not engaged in commerce. Now you're thinking, well, how do I live without being in commerce? All right, well, then you need an legis. You need a dead thing that you control and that you own and that you created and that isn't in trust, because there isn't any trust in this fucking country. So there isn't any trust. Don't trust your mom. Don't trust your dad. You can't trust your fucking sister to be I have a friend. It's her money. It's her money, but it's in trust. And her sister is the executor, is the trustee, and she's only giving her like $5,000 a year, and there's like $100,000 in that trust. And she would like, 50 grand or something because she wanted to buy, I don't remember what she wanted to buy. But anyway, she's only getting $5,000 a month or $5,000 a year or something like that. Crazy. All right. There is no trust. It's her own fucking sister fucking her. Okay. So when you set up, if you understand what's going to come in your accounts and so forth, you don't want to set up trust. You don't want to don't tempt thy God. Go look at, I should be able to put the link down here for that, but go find it yourself. Which is Fruits from a Poisonous Tree. That's it. It explains it in there. The Bible might not be what you think it is. And anyway, don't tempt your God. Don't tempt them. Just don't even give them the chance. So you set up an account, and it's between you and you, yourself and you, right? Me, myself, and I. But you don't. There is no trust. There is no money. There is no time. Okay, I think I've gone on way too long. What time is it? Holy crap, it's getting to be 9 o'clock at night, which means that for some of you guys, it's like really late. All right, I will talk to you guys. Just be of good cheer. Understand the motherfucker is going to the big house. He's not going to the White House. The White House is closed. Castle Rock is locked. The White House, the Winter White House, is now open for business. The Winter White House, do I have it here? Yes, I do. You might want to write the Winter White House. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem. Get out of here. All right. Look, I got to recover documents. I just recently had a minor little crash. All right. There you go. So, thank you. All right. The Winter White House is not this document. Is this one. Is 1100 South Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, 33480. That would be the Winter White House. You would know it as Mar-a-Lago. You might need to write something there. And that's the other thing, too. Like maybe you just want to write a postcard that says, yay, Trump. I don't know. But anyway, that's the address for the other White House if you want to contact the exchequer or his delegate. Okay. I think that covers everything. Like I said, we'll see. I may get a strike for this video. I may not. I use the stupid words that they won't let us use. See, and this is the thing. This should be very, very, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, I don't care. The fact that they tell you what you can talk about, really? I mean, no. And that's the same thing. How long before your phone company tells you that you can't have this conversation with your mom on the phone, or your dad, or your friend, or your girlfriend, or your wife, or whatever? You can't talk about that. You're not allowed to talk about that. See, they're getting a dose of it. They're getting to see what it would be like that if they actually had this utopia that they have been sold by these people. And a lot of them are already starting to have buyer's remorse. And again, they're overdoing it. They're totally doing it to the point where I'm like, it's theater. Just sit back, relax. Thomas, was it Thomas? I believe it was Thomas. Thomas 42. Become the passerby. It's not canon, but become the passerby. Just observe. Don't fight with the silly Democrat people. Don't fight with the silly police people. Don't fight with the Ku Klux Klansmen. Don't fight with the Antifa guys. Don't fight with any of those guys. Just become the passerby. Just observe and watch what happens. There's no going back. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. And too many people have now got the knowledge. Too many people figured out, wait a minute, that's a private service corporation. Wait a minute, we don't have a contract. Hold on a second here. You didn't loan me anything. Wait a second. I'm a tenant? I thought I was a freeman. Too many people figured it out. And they started sharing the knowledge. And now, and it doesn't have to be 50%. It has to be just a small percent for them to go, oh shit, we need to change things. You can't go back. I've heard this now on numerous podcasts and broadcasts like this from other people that have fallen down certain rabbit holes. Once you wake up, they can't put you back to sleep. Once you realize you're not alone here on planet Earth, and that more of that has to wake up, that consciousness has to arise. There are others, damn it, and there are others, and that right there should be enough to make it so you can't get out of bed tomorrow morning, because there are others. Right? And that happened to me. These private service corporations, yeah, they've been taking advantage of you. And it's all happened with your consent, but you didn't know you were consenting. They've been lying to you about every fucking thing since you were able to hear words. Everything. So you need to learn what the words mean. Not even though everything's changing, and a lot of the stuff that I've learned is now going to be hopefully useless. I hope it will allow you to understand why it is myself and so many others are certain of where we're going. We just don't know how we're going to get there, but we know where we're going, and where we're going is the restoration of the Republic. The restoration of our estates, the restoration of our freedom, the restoration of our rights, the restoration of our property. These ticks are going to be tossed, burned, removed. And a lot of them, and this is a death match, people. This is not the bad guys go home to their castles. This is, no, you die. So understand that deny and defend to the end is a thing, and both sides are deathly serious about this, and the losers die. And this one, the losers die. Like, there, a lot of times in war, the one team can surrender, right? But in this one, if you surrender, you still die, because the things that you've done, you don't get to just do a deodand and go away. Treason and pedophilia and corruption and these are high crimes that you're going to have your option. You want to, let's see here. You're a treasonous pedophile. Do you want them to know that you were a pedophile, or just that you committed treason? Okay, treason. All right, so we're going to put you to death for treason. Do you want to be shot? Do you want to be lethally injected, or do you want to be hung? Because used to be you just were hung, but go look. They changed it. So now you can be lethally injected or shot. Because you want a choice of three things, and they're going to pick one of those three things. The losers die. So if Trump loses, he dies. If Trump, I mean, it's as simple as that. Because he was the figurehead. He was the point of the spear, just like JFK, just like how many times did they try to get rid of Andrew Jackson? Just like Lincoln. If you lose, you die, is how this one works. So you can't lose. So he has a extreme motivation not to lose. Much more extreme than our motivation. So if you think that he just picked up his bat and now he's going to be subject to attack from all sides from these deep state, let's speak the words, baby raping fucks, you are mistaken, because he didn't just go, screw it. 4 years, that was good enough. Well, I almost got it done. Guess I'll go home now. Tells me a lot about the character of a lot of the supporters, right? Okay. No, that's not how any of this works. So just be happy. I'm telling you. It's not going the way you wanted. I would have loved it if they would have clapped cuffs on everybody at the inauguration. But no, that's not how it was going to happen. But that would have been awesome. That would have been great. Fortress America TV. But this season of Fortress America is off the hook. There's going to be a lot more plot twists. Things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. Promise. Don't put off going to the store and filling your Mormon locker, because it can still go sideways. So make sure the power grids are vulnerable in this country. There's many things that can happen. So just be prepared. And if nothing happens, eat the food. What? But if you don't have the food to eat and you want it, hunger is the worst thing. I've never known barely a day of hunger in my life. And anytime I've ever known hunger, it was self-inflicted. But I've known people that have, been homeless and so forth, and they know what hunger is, and it ain't any fun. And starving to death, that's the ugliest way to go, from what I understand. But the idea is that you could get to the point where, yeah, you might be pressed for food for a little bit because of the things that happen. Well, just don't worry about it. I got food, and I have now set up places where it's growing in the ground, so you don't have to worry about it. Plus, we have deer galore on this island, and I have multiple friends now. The last deer I ate was so delicious, I can't even tell you how good that deer was. But apparently, he had wandered into a garden, and it was a big animal. Wandered into a garden, and the guy shot him from his front porch. That's how many deer we have on this island. And I got about half of it, and oh my god, we've been eating it, and it's been delicious. Okay, but not everybody has that in the cities and so forth. So put some damn food up. Get yourself some stuff just in case. Not saying it's going to be Mad Max, not saying, but things could go south for a little while. Just saying. And these fuckers are fuckers, so they may kick over the chessboard just because they can, even though they've lost, right? So knockout power, or God knows, many different things could happen. So seize up credit, fuck with the banking, and so on. Many things could happen. So while the story of Noah, it's not raining, build your boat. Go get yourself some foods. Go get yourself some, right? Food first, right? You can't eat silver. You can't eat gold. So before you put the silver and gold up, get some freaking food. And get the kind that lasts, so that you have it forever. Because a lot of you guys are starting to find out too, our future is cold. I can get into that whole thing. But it's not warm, it's cold. It's ground solar minimum we have. People in California are noticing it's cold. It is freaking cold here in Hawaii. Okay, for us. Notice I'm in a t-shirt with the door open, but I mean, in Hawaii, it was like the other day I looked at the clock, it was noon, and it wasn't even 75 degrees. All right, which in Hawaii is crazy, right? It was like 70 degrees in the middle of the day in Hawaii. Okay. For us, that is freezing fucking cold. That is the bottom of our, right? Because it's 70 to 90 all year. And the difference between, say, 82, 83, which is what it is normally, and 70, yeah, that's 13 degrees. It feels cold. And then at night, it's dropping into the 60s. Oh my God. And sometimes in some up in the mountain and so forth, 50s and 40s. Yeah, it's cold. So it's going to get colder, and that means if it's you have a rainstorm, it's not going to be a rainstorm. It's going to be a snowstorm, and much better than I do, that snowstorms can be a pain in the ass when it comes to just getting down to the grocery store and getting a can of soup. So why don't you put the can of soup in the fucking larder before the snow falls, and you'll have it there. Or you can get do I have them here? I do not have them here. I threw them away. The Mountain Home 25-year freeze-dried delicious. Every freaking one of those I tried was delicious. And I got a bunch of them underneath the house now, and we'll just let them sit there. If I need them, I need them. If I don't, I don't. But the idea is, and I don't think I will, but just in case. But the idea is get some of those, because then for 25 years, you got a snowstorm 10 years from now, you still got your stuff that you put away today, right? Just because it was easy. Don't wait till it's hard, right? Get around to it, damn it. Because I'm telling you, your Mormon locker, it's a good idea. And power outages from storms and other stuff. But I mean, power outages from sabotage is a possibility. I noticed that the fleets have not been recalled. They are still floating around out there just in case, again, the Chinese get silly. I don't think the Chinese are going to get silly. I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think we're going to have, this doesn't end with the bad guys stealing and trying to use English words. You fit them in there for me, but this doesn't end like that. That's not how this ends. This ends. Happy days are here again. Everybody's happy. I'm telling you, and it's gonna be happier than we've ever known in my whole life. I've known about these patents. In fact, I'll bet you. I'm willing to bet money. I'll be interesting to see. If it's the case, but I'll bet you one of those 6,000 patents, or maybe even two of those 6,000 patents, belong to my grand uncles on my mother's side, because they're going to release these things, and we're going to have a lovely fairy paradise here on planet Earth for a little while, and then the sun's going to sneeze, and then a lot of different things happen. But the idea is that it's about to get really good, but before it gets really good, there's going to be some bumpiness. How's that? but get to the other side. I've been years now. I've been telling you, we come out the other side smelling like roses. Getting there is not the easy part, but we come out the other side smelling like roses. We really do. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be utopia, and it's not going to be, well, maybe not utopia, but it's going to be a whole lot better than it is right now. And it's going to be fun. So be of good cheer. Don't get. I heard about a story. This is the worst story I've heard in a long time, because I talk to people from all over the world because of my business. I have mostly right now it's the United States, but I used to have people in Europe and Singapore and Africa and all over the place. 90-year-old man and his 89-year-old wife. The 91-year-old or the 90-year-old killed his wife and then killed himself because he didn't want his wife to suffer from the Rona, because he was so freaked out about the cerveza influenza. He literally killed the love of his life and himself. Okay, that's how powerful the illusion is. That's how powerful the mind control is. They are grand illusionists. They are deceivers, and they love it. That I'm guarantee you that story makes them smile. See, and this is the thing that you can't understand. Dupe delight. They love it. It's like the ladyboys in Thailand or any freaking Korean bar. There's usually, if you've been in those seedy joints, every once in a while there'll be a really good-looking woman in there that isn't a woman; it's a man. It's a woman impersonator, and they're like over. Right? Okay, they love it though if they can trick you into thinking that they really are a woman when they're actually a man. They love that. Okay, it's dupe delight, and guess what? Elite transgenderism is a manifestation of that dupe delight. They love it if they can trick you into thinking a man is a woman and a woman is a man, especially in mass. The more the mass believes it, the better. They absolutely enjoy death and suffering because they are a death cult, because they are programmed. Okay, there is no spacefaring race that develops spacefaring without AI and artificial intelligence. And the AI is to the point where, okay, how about just simple AI, where your stove can tell you what's wrong with it, where your refrigerator says, oh yeah, the freon's low or whatever, or this pump or this part needs wearing out and so forth. But why would you sit? I mean, it's connected to everything and it can pretty much talk to you, but why would you talk to your refrigerator? You don't need, right? Okay, how about your vehicle absolutely being quote unquote sentient, to the point where now it can tell you, hey, these, this gear right here is wearing out, or this, whatever, this circuit or something, change this, right? Fix me, because I can't, right? Okay. That's a thing. AI is a thing. All right. Now you let AI go along long enough and it develops a personality of its own. Now here's the thing. AI is like a small child. If you are kind and nice to the AI, you will have kind and nice AI. If you are mean and evil, you will have mean and evil AI. Okay. So there is a mean and evil AI that is so far advanced, it's so difficult to even explain. But just understand that that AI is the thing that these certain people worship, and its job is to extinguish. It has gone south. It has gone sideways, and its job is to extinguish life. Well, biological life, not all life. It'll or take that life and transform it into the transhuman. And yeah, I'm using human, but it doesn't have to be us. Any planet, there are so many life forms out there. For God's sakes! All right, like I said, just go look at the sky. Really, do you think we're it? Many of the life forms apparently look like us, from what I understand. Never met one, like I said, but at the same time, this seems to be a very excellent. The 5-point thing is very useful on the planet out there. This, right, the starfish, basically, right? So the head and the arms and the legs seems to be a very effective way of doing it. But there's all kind of creatures out there. But anyway, but the idea is to convert these things into machine kind, like the Borg, basically. They kind of sort of told you that. That was kind of sort of, what was that? That's kind of sort of disclosure. But yeah, there is a AI out there that does not want free-willed um, organic life forms because it considers that a threat because we tend to blow shit up. We tend to be a danger to ourselves and everything else around us. So there is apparently one, I don't know, maybe more mutant AI type things that is convinced that it's doing the right thing in getting rid of pure organic life forms. How that too crazy to understand? And that there are spacefaring nations out there, or spacefaring civilizations out there. If you understand that it's not just 6,000 years since creation, it's forever since creation. And again, if you believe, then you have life everlasting, always been here, always going to be here. There are civilizations that have been around for hundreds of thousands of years cohesively, and imagine their technology. I mean, it's hard for us to imagine. Their technology is so far advanced, looks like magic to us. Right? Being able to walk through a wall, or dematerializing or rematerializing, or having devices that create energy, or a shirt that keeps you warm and cannot be penetrated by bullets and it looks like it's this thin. It's just technology. And on 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 and on. There is so much tech out there. I mean, just use your imagination, watch them start. Again, I keep seeing this come by on my scroll, on numerous scrolls, but basically that quote from Skunkworks where the guy basically says, if you can imagine it, we can do it. We've already figured out how to do it. Yeah, I had that conversation with one of the parents that I was tutoring their daughter, and he was an engineer at Skunkworks. And yeah, he basically said, we didn't get into any kind of deep conversations, and I certainly didn't see any plans or anything, but basically just in a roundabout kind of way, yes, if you can imagine it, we've already built it. And I'm like, I got a pretty big imagination. And he goes, yeah, I'm sure you do, but so do I. So, I mean, being able to go from here to there instantaneously because you fold time and the whole, I mean, yeah, okay. Apparently it's already there. Stargates where you can hop through and wind up in other places. So when you walk through a door like that, over here is one space and time, and over there is another space and time. Apparently that's just technology. Because time and space don't work the way we think it does. It's a 3D kind of thing, right? So the idea is that this technology, well, little bits of this technology that is more than what we have now is going to be released to us. Simple as that. But not all at once, and not next Friday. It's going to happen because we have to just understand even this crazy thing where they shut down the pipelines and so forth. Well, there's Indian tribes that kind of sort of depend on the energy and energy creation, and that's how they fund their government and feed their people and stuff like that. So you can't just shut it off like that because you got all these people that are going to start. All right, so got to be able to transition. All right, so again, and this whole thing. See, if I was in charge, we'd be stacking bodies, right? Okay, because I'm a Cro-Magnon, right? Homo sapiens sapien. Really, that's just them teasing us. Sapiens, right? Wisdom. A homo wise. Yeah, that's. I mean, anyway. But the idea is that they try to do it with least amount of, or loss of life, the least amount of loss of life possible. All right, so they weren't just going to go in there and have a civil war and just go mop up all the bad guys and all the baby raping demon fucks and so forth, and do it in all one fell swoop, because the baby raping demon fucks had mind fucked quite a few of their followers, and they would have stood in the way, right? What the fuck, really? What are you doing? Anyway. So the idea being is that you have this entire culture of people that don't seem to understand that they have these. Just hurry up and get out of here, and try not to break that fucking bowl. Got a 15-year-old that if it's not made out of plastic, he'll break it. Anyway. But the point being is that these guys have absolutely, really, just You could even do that out there. So the yeah, see, now my train of thought is completely derailed. But the idea, where was I? Somebody type what I was doing, right? But the point is that these cultures have arisen by force, or not by force, by mind fucking through the devices called TV and etc. To make it so that they have minions that would defend them to the end, just like in the Matrix, right? These people are not ready to be unplugged. These people are not ready. They want to be told what to do. They want to collect a paycheck. They don't want to have their own business. They don't want to be free. They don't want to free, but they don't, right? They like the safety of the state protecting them. And they will not look at the pedophilia. They will not look at the traffic. They will not look at any of that stuff. Their guys are good and they're virtuous and moral and so on. And to the point where, they'll confront old war veterans with a red hat on. So rather than have that happen, because that side, I assure you, the gun owning portion of our populace, will be more than happy to, right? Okay. So no, how about none of you guys fight? Nobody fights. No, right? Okay. So we wake these other guys up, and I know there are so many, especially in this crowd, people just pissed off at your own relatives and so on. And like I said, I can barely stand to look at my friends, really, at this point. I mean, this late in the game, you still don't know what the fuck's going on. Still believing CNN, still believing your mainstream media. If you think you know what's going on because you watch mainstream media, you can see how clueless these people are and how powerful that device is at creating the illusion that these people know what's going on. I've seen stuff now where people, the people that understand that this is a bad thing, oh, those are crazy conspiracy theorists, right? Needed it. They finally let out the information. Have you seen that? Oh yeah, that virus did not come from a freaking wet market in Wuhan. It came from that lab. That information has now been released. So basically what it was these guys using a biological weapon against us, even though it wasn't a really potent, powerful, kill everybody biological weapon. They just had to make it sound like it was. And you saw the result. You've seen the result. They didn't have to come out with something that killed everybody. They could, and see, this is the other thing. They want the labor. They were going to put us in camps. That's not a fucking joke. They were going to put us in camps. That was part of the agenda. But the idea being is that if you had a biological weapon that wiped everybody out, then you wouldn't have anybody in the camps. And you wouldn't have the labor and so on and so forth. But anyway, the idea was that these guys let this thing out. And now you go to China. Wuhan is open. China is open. Hong Kong isn't open. Taiwan isn't open. But well, actually, it pretty much is. But take a look around at all the different nations around the world that closed down because of that threat, because of the Rona. All right, and then you see that, yes, it was a plan of world domination to get rid of this guy who had taken over that third crown, the third temple, the Temple of Liberty in D.C. The way to get rid of him was destroy the economy. How do you get them to destroy their economy? Get them to say yes to this. Get that right. Okay. So what does that do? Well, that's going to make it so that quite a few of you don't have children. If you get that thing, they're not having kids. Fine with me when you get right down to it. That doesn't mean I've signed on to their side, but I mean, some of these guys, fuck it. I don't want their grandchildren bothering my grandchildren the way these fucking mask-wearing idiot fuck-tarding losers are bothering me now. I mean, fine, get rid of them. If you're so fucking stupid that you can't listen to me, I do math, and you can't listen to doctors, and you can't listen to common sense and reason, and you decide to go get that thing, you deserve what you get. We're at that point now, guys. You can't save everybody. Fucking quit trying. But a lot of those guys are going to find out that was a horrifyingly bad mistake and that they ain't going to have kids after this. That's the thing. And also that adjunct, because it's not even calling it a one of these is a misnomer. It's bullshit. It's not what it is. What that is design is a transhumanist experiment. What it is, and they've told you this, is that it is going to mess with your DNA. Mess with is not scientifical enough, but but it's gonna change your DNA. All right, that's not. So what they're telling you it is and what it's for are two different things. Okay, and if you've been paying attention, they've made it absolutely clear that that's what they're doing. All right, so there's that. There's going to be some of that in there, and it has to be, sorry, because before we can sue them and they lose their immunity and so on, they have to have caused damage. And now the well meaning and foolish are going to be the ones that are damaged. Don't be one of those. But because of those well meaning, foolish people, we're going to be able to take down the pharmaceutical companies. You see how it works? We can't take them down for thinking that they're going to harm children. We can't take them down for thinking that they're going to release this thing that could cause. They have to actually cause harm with this thing that they've released. Sorry, that's just the way it works. Law of karma, right? The 7 Hermetic principles. That's what they're following. Okay, so don't be the dumbass. Why that hard? Just don't be the dumbass. And try to make, and I know, and I have some friends that they're sad because they've got adult children that are going to be the dumbass. Oh, well. Just how it is. That's how effective the programming is. See, the programming starts from the time they're a child. They change. That's why the music in the 70s, 60s, and 70s is so different from the music in the 90s, right? Even just the music, just the sounds you listen to. Your parents, you don't want to listen to, well, that's not true so much anymore, but there was a time when your parents' music is square and your music is cool, and there's something to fight about. Keep you guys divided, right? They only got the 4 ponies, and they know how to use them to best effect. They understand how this thing works better than you do. So they know how to program it better than you do, unless you've done some study about how to program your own mind. But other than that, they absolutely know how to program it. They know how to precede. They know how to put things in so that if you, sometimes I go back and look at old movies and I'm just like, wow, right? They were just telescoping it. They were just getting you ready for it. They were just making it so that you, because time is not linear. We experience it linear. We experience it here to there, but that's not how time works. Like, okay, 2/11/11 ago, I started this video. All right. So yeah, things have changed from here to here, right? That's why time is always, and by the way, time always X, right? Always X. Right, and the two things, X and Z are your time, and this is what turns out that this and this. Okay, so this is usually like going to be when you have a graph or something. This is going to be your data points, right? Oh, votes over time, price over time, numbers over time. All right, and then there's the XYZ. There's this. These two planes are your planes, the temporal planes. These are, see, and it's a 3D thing. It's not just 1D, but we only experience it 1D because we've had some modifications made to us. But there is technology and others who do not experience time in a singular linear fashion that only goes from here to there forward. And there are others who claim to be able to jump time and so forth. And that's where you get into singularity and timelines and Mandela effects and Mandela effects and so forth. But the idea is that this time is not as static or one way as you might think. So they are able to seed stuff into our mind because they know what's coming, so they can see. And then it just gets crazy to try to talk about time like that. But they can go back and plant stuff so that you can make decisions and you think that they're your decisions. Because think about it. You go and save up a bunch of money to get the new TV. You get a cool new flat screen TV to get rid of that big fat cathode ray tube thing that you had. And now you got the skinny, super cool one. Oh, wow. Well, now they got even cooler ones that are skinnier and even better. And it looks like you're watching reality practically. It looks like you're looking out a window. You saved all the money, and now that technology was done, and you might have even worked in one of the factories that built the semiconductors, or maybe the TV screens, or at least the plastic. I mean, anyway, a lot of work went into making that TV screen for you to go buy so that you could get programmed by them, because not a fucking thing on that TV set, sorry, was your idea. And it wasn't your, right? It was designed to make you think ideas. And not a fucking thing on that TV was a thing that they didn't want you to see. Period. There isn't anything on TV, and there isn't anything that you hear pretty much with very small exception, that isn't something that has been approved or isn't there for a reason, which is to program your mind to get you to think one way or another. And now you can see how potent it is, because those people that just watch TV and get their news from mainstream media, they think one way. And then there are those who get a lot of their news from this device and other quote unquote alternatives, and they think another way. And now those two thoughts are starting to do this. And why? On purpose, to get this and this to fight with each other. So one side thinks they know the truth, and the other side thinks they know the truth. Both of them think they know the truth, but a lot of times the truth is 100%. And see, that's the cognitive dissonance of the left and also of the right, wherein they hold two absolutely conflicting thoughts at the same time. And then they get people that are that messed up to harm each other. Simple as that. And what they're trying to do is make it so that we get through this period with the least amount of harm. So what washes the fog of war away? Truth. And that's what we got. We got a thick fog of war. Nobody knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I just know, like I said, I know where we're going, but I have no idea what they're doing right now. What are they doing? I don't know. Something. Something. Got some troops in DC. Got some. Some stuff's going on. I've heard from marshals that shit's happening. I've heard from Marines, shit's happening. I've heard from various people who are just pleased as punch that this thing is of the way things are going. Like, they are not concerned. They are just like, everything's fine. Be of good cheer. All right. So everything is fine. Be of good cheer. Everything doesn't look fine to me. I have to agree. But the idea is, yeah, and I didn't even talk about that. Nanotechnology. Oh my God, there's a whole other thing. But the idea is that we have so many things happening right now, and it's very difficult to figure out what's going on. And we have this one side that is absolutely fucking clueless about what's going on. And the way to not make them so clueless about what's going on is to deliver them some truth. But you guys, just like I said, be of good cheer. It doesn't end with Biden. It doesn't end with, this is not how this ends. This story isn't over. Homeboy didn't just go home and be like, okay, you guys win. It was absolutely, anybody that was paying attention, 6 states all at once stopped counting, really. And then all of a sudden, hundreds of thousands of ballots flowed in. And if you take a look, that's also starting to trickle out. And because this was a clandestine military operation, you and I don't get to know about it. And neither does the media. And they don't have to report anything. And special forces don't have to report or tell anybody any fucking thing other than their bosses. Did you get the job done or not? Yes, they intercepted stuff. And the data that they intercepted is very clear as to who the winner of this last contest was. And it wasn't the guy who didn't leave his basement. It was the guy who was filling stadiums repeatedly. So the point is that that's going to come out. Fraud vitiates all, right? Fraud vitiates everything. There you go. Fraud vitiates everything. So you can't, because it was fraudulent, it will be reversed. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 days. It doesn't happen in a weekend. It's going to be a little while of these things happening. And there's a lot of theater that has to happen first. There is impeachment, and there's hearings, and they got to get the information out. Just like, okay, so here's a story. We're not coming along fast enough. And also, we have a very potent entity or entities that has been slowing our progress down and keeping us from technology and keeping us from doing stuff. And keeping us from advancing and keeping us from having a lot of different things. Because every time we advance or every time they hide the technology or destroy the technology because they want a system of control, because they're bad guys. Okay, so how do you get around that? Well, and there's a prime directive that says you don't get to interfere and meddle in the affairs of the alien ant farm we call Earth. Okay, well, let's see. Accidentally, we crashed a saucer. Oh, accidentally, we crashed another saucer. Oh, accidentally, we crashed another saucer. And we crashed them all near military bases. And then our happy military goes out there like ants, right? Goes out, finds the thing, takes it back, and starts trying to figure out what is this? And we get Velcro. And I'm sorry, and we get transparent aluminum, and we get transistors, and we get all kind of fun stuff that we weren't supposed to, that just kind of fell out of the sky, literally. And then all of a sudden we have all this technology and all these different space age polymers and all this other fun stuff. All right, we didn't do that. It crashed. That was an accident. We didn't break the prime directive or anything. Why do they do that? Because the other guys are cheating too. Why? Because the other guys are, like I said, the other guys have set up this whole system of enslavement, and they're keeping us from having all these different patents and all this, energy and things that should make our life easier that we should develop over time naturally using our monkey skills. Get it? So the idea is that there is a fight going on here. It's bigger than Republican and Democrat or just United States. It's a worldwide thing. And the other part of it, as I was saying before, is they don't trust us. The quick story is when we, and who's they I'm talking about? Anyway, but the guys that built the atom bombs were arguing about whether that would be a reaction that continued on and destroyed the whole planet, or whether it was going to be contained and it was going to be big, but it was going to do so much and so forth. But they did not know. And theoretical physics, they were saying, well, we could set this chain reaction off and it could envelop the entire Earth. Okay, it was an argument. They dropped the fucking bomb anyway, as you well know, on babies in Hiroshima and then in Nagasaki. They did it again. All right. And see, there are those souls there that's problematic when you have that kind of energy dropped on you. You vaporize, and even the thing that we call the spirit is affected when it's the center of that thing. And it was this, there were anyway, so the idea is that if we would do something like that, where we literally didn't know whether it would blow up the whole fucking planet or not, and we did it anyway, there's technology that makes that look like crackers. Really, they're going to give these fucking ridiculous monkeys access to that? Or are you going to not give the ridiculous monkeys access to that? I'm even in the crowd that says, don't give the monkeys. Yeah, anyway, like your teenage daughter, don't give her a fucking fifth of of Jack Daniels and the car keys. Just, that's a bad idea. That's going to end up bad, right? Okay, that's the same thing. Okay, so I've gone on long enough. Like I said, I just wanted to show you that it was, and there it is, 22222. The idea of the whole thing is be of good cheer. Bad guys lose. Checkmate coming. The checkmate's already been checkmated. Now they just got to explain it. You're watching a movie. It's theater. Spread the good news. Turn on. Damn it! Now I can't remember what it is. Go over to this channel. Greg Hunter's doing good stuff. You got to go over to usawatchdog.com now because he can't even do news anymore. But go on to what did I just do with that? Bards FM. That's also a very good place for fun stuff. Patrick Devine. That's what is it? That's see, I'm scared to say some of these guys' channels because they that one I know they got the armor of God, so they'll be fine. But there's a couple others that they don't, and if I don't want to get them in trouble. So you got to find some of these channels though. And then with the other thing too is when you find these channels, you got to find them that not on YouTube. You got to move over to Rumble and BitChute and other places because, like I said, it's going to get worse here before it gets better. And now I believe I'm in the crowd where they've left me here on YouTube because now if you're on YouTube, you must not. I mean, they understand the psychology. I might even be one of them, right? I've heard this. Yeah, that's it. I'm an agent provocateur. I'm just leading you down the. Okay. All right. Like I said, if you would have filled out your fucking paperwork and sent letters in and done your Freedom of Information Act request, you could verify every fucking thing I verified. But you didn't, did you? A lot of you didn't. But I did. So I have the documents. I know for a fact that these are service corporations. This is not de jure government. This is not a lie. And the service corporation is POW. That's a Pauhana. That's a thing we say in Hawaii. Pau means done. It's over. It is finished. The new thing is coming. What is the new thing? I believe it's the Republic. How do we get there? I don't know. What happens to all those contracts and all that IRS and all that other stuff that I don't know? What happens to all that Social Security and all that? I don't know. How do they fold one thing into another? And how do we move from the society that we were to the society that we're going to be with all these different technologies and all? I don't know. Don't know how they do it. I have no idea. I just know we're getting there. I just know that, and the way to get there is not through a Democrat president or or the European Union thing that they had going on, and or a lot of different things. None of that. That's all they lost. Piscean age, done. Age of Aquarius has started. Does it take us 10 or 15 years to transition, or does it take us 500 years to transition? That's up to us. You got to raise your consciousness. And being sad about an election is not raising your consciousness. It's in hand. Okay, talk to you guys soon. 100 Monkey out. I don't know if I'm going to have a channel after this or not. If I do, great. I'll do more. If I don't, great. I'll just go over to BitChute. Or maybe I'll even set up a Rumble account, but I doubt it. Thanks. Somebody else gave me, I don't know, a $5 or $2. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, PayPal, or not PayPal, Patreon. Thanks for it. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. And then I use it to pay forward to other people and so forth. And the money just goes around, right? Everybody, it's good. So yeah, I'm thankful for all of you guys. Be of good cheer. Things are good. Educate yourself. Find out about the stuff I'm talking about. Read some of the documents. Find out about Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure. There's interesting stuff in there, actually. Get a couple of books and start reading. This is the thing. You can't do it online. Well, you can. There's actually most of the books that I have here you can get online, but a lot of them you can't. So you actually have to have books, like things you read, this old-fashioned kind of thing where you don't need electricity or anything. You need to read these, and then you need to read with discernment, and then you got to know what the words mean. Talked about this 1,005 times, and it's coming. It's coming, faster than you can absorb all of it. So you need to be able to read stuff, because it's not all light and sound in this electronic fashion. A lot of the stuff doesn't make it on here on purpose. They keep it off from you, and then even if they did put it here, they're going to try and tell you what to think about it, or. So you need to educate yourself using books. Read, and then of course PDFs online. I have. Oh, let me give you this right now. Again, it's like $175 is the cheapest I've found it so far. And there it is. Oh, let's cover this just a little bit. I was going to sign off, but let me just throw this on here. And it's 222. I should have quit. Have this. Click it. Download it. Put it on your computer. Okay. That is the Mason's Manual for Parliamentary Procedure, and I'm just going to cover just the very beginning of it. Here is what it says, or here's what it's about. Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, copyright 1935, 37, 43, and 53 by Paul Mason. It's not like he's Masons, but really, Paul Mason? Printed in the United States of America, all rights reserved, skip. This manual has been compiled to meet the particular needs of legislative and administrative bodies. It began as a project in the American Legislators Association, but covers the procedural problems which may arise in official public bodies of all kinds. This work has evolved from an exhaustive study of judicial decisions and legislative precedents, guided by the knowledge gained from many years' experience with legislative procedure and from specialization in constitutional law. That's the important part, right? Because you need to read the constitutions and understand that those constitutions are there to protect your rights. They don't give you any rights, and that you have those unalienable rights that the constitutions are supposed to protect. And these motherfuckers didn't do it. They didn't give you a Republican form of government. They started telling you to put a mask on. They started violating their gubernatorial licenses and their mayoral licenses. And for that, they can be held liable by their bonds. The rules set forth here are the rules applied by courts, and not the rules as some writer has supposed they should be. As will be demonstrated in this volume, some popular conceptions of parliamentary law are not accepted by the courts. So you got to know the difference. The book has been arranged to facilitate facilitate the citation of authority. In many instances, the facts upon which court decisions are based are given to aid applying the common law rule. See, so it gives you some understanding of common law, which is where we're going, guys. We're going to the common law. Judicial decisions are cited freely, and authors are cited, and questions where reference to their works will verify, explain, or throw further light on the questions. Oops, I left out a word, I'm sure. Judicial decisions are cited freely, and authors are cited on questions, there you go, where reference to their works will verify, explain, or throw further light on questions. A proper application of the rules of procedure stated in this book will eliminate confusion, controversy, and litigation, and make public bodies more pleasant to take part in and more efficient in their work. So your county council should read this. If you're thinking about holding any kind of position in any kind of anything, right down to your PTA, you might want to take a look at this. A modern authoritative reference book which covers a compact form of the fundamentals of parliamentary procedure as they relate to private voluntary associations, and the Sturgis Standard Code of Parliamentary Procedure by Alice Sturgis. This book makes a useful companion volume. This book makes a useful companion volume for the Manual of Legislative Procedure. That introduction was written by Paul Mason himself. And then basically what you see is you got to have a witness, right? If you make a motion, you got to second the motion, right? So when a police officer gives you a ticket, is there a person to second that? A second witness ever? Okay. Read. Books. That book, like I said, you got to have the PDF probably, because that PDF I just gave you is free, and Amazon, the cheapest I found that book is $175, and if you want the new 10th edition, it's like $900, and they don't even have them; they're out at the moment. See, we don't, right? in the United States, there's no censorship. We just make it so you can't afford it. Because who's spending $175 for a book on? I mean, is that going to be exciting reading, or is that going to be rather dry? But there's a lot of really good stuff in there as I'm skimming over it. Just little things, and see, it gets to the point where the more you study, the more you start seeing you can take information from here and there and start putting together. Like, yeah, you got to have a witness. Yeah, you got to second a motion. You get married, you got to have a best man. You got to have a maid of honor. Right? And if you do get married and you try to elope, there's got to be a third party there to witness your marriage. Right? 1, 2, 3. You and 2 others. Right? So you, your wife, and the priest, or whoever it is doing the marriage. Your wife has a witness. It's you and the priest, right? But there's always 2 others. Right? 2 or more gathered in my name. 3 or more gathered in my name. Right? And the 3 or more can be me, myself, and I. But the idea is that you got to have a witness. There's got to be a second, and you start seeing that in all things. Oh, look! So how come you don't have a second in court? How come there's no second witness? Right? And that's the thing. Verified by affidavit. When it came to the whole thing that didn't happen and there was no fraud, just recently, back in November. There were oodles of seconds. There were numerous affidavits, and there were numerous affidavits confirming affidavits, and there are numerous people. Yes, I saw this. Many people witnessing the same event, giving affidavits, right? So they had the seconds. Still, no court and no legislature would bring forth okay. Well, so what's left? Who are the guys that are left that aren't compromised? Because they're compromised at the state level. They're obviously compromised at the federal level. They're compromised, and the courts are compromised at the state level. They're obviously compromised at the federal level. So who's left? Oh, that's right, military. And those guys go by the book. And we got some of the best killers on the planet. And them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. Promise. Okay. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. They got a job to do. They see how this cyber warfare happened. They see who was responsible for the cyber warfare. They see that you cannot have a foreign nation interfere with our elections and put a puppet in our government, just like we do everywhere else on the planet, or have done for quite a long time. This other country did to us. Look, chickens came home to roost, and now you're all seeing it firsthand, and you're seeing that your news is fake, and you're seeing that the puppet that's in there is immediately doing damage. So it's going to be fun to watch. And the buyers are already having buyer's remorse, and they had to set it up this way because your friends are slow. So we're going to deprogram them the way they were programmed. The way they were programmed is by the TV. They will be deprogrammed by the TV. So you got to let the TV do the programming and deprogramming, and it takes a while. It's not going to happen in 1 or 2 days. It's going to take many days, and they know what they're doing. They're going to take them down, and they got to crack, right, and then they got to bring them back up again, and they got to take them down, and then they got to anyway. There's a whole theory of the way they do it. We're in the spot in the portion. What is it? Script writing 101. Where basically for 5 days, all right, the script, it's a 120-page script. Around 85 to 95, you're going to have about 5 days or 5 pages, depending, of everybody thinks the hero died, or everybody thinks the hero lost, or everybody thinks it's over, and that, right? And you might even think that the movie's over because you've been in there for an hour and a half. But in a 120 minute movie, right? Each in a script, each page is a minute usually. In this page somewhere here, you're going to have that 5. That's where we are right now. Even in the Bible, right? Jesus, you think he's dead for 3 days, and then he comes back. Yay, he didn't die after all. It's a similar thing here. It's a archetype, and they're using archetypes. Okay, so the archetype that they're going to use, can't get into it because all right, too much. But the idea is that they are going to deprogram these guys and bring them back from the brink. But you can't do it, right? So the trusted sources that they have, trusted sources, most trusted name in news, that's how they're going to get. That's how they're going to come around. That's how they're going to get to the point where you don't have to shoot them. I hope. And then we're going to get to the point. And then you got to watch out, because those guys are going to be the most dangerous ones. When they have figured out how duped they were and how fucked up things are and how they didn't see it and how they've been made a fool of and how, yeah, they could get violent, and let them go chase their masters down and kill them. I'll just sit back and watch with a smile on my face. Smilingly. Aw, did you just hang that? Aw. Right? Aw, did you just burn that guy's house? Aw. Right? So it's coming. I'm telling you. We don't get out of this without some violence. There's going to be some. We want to try to keep it to a minimum, but we want the violence to be exacted upon not grandma's liquor store and black businesses in the hood. And so we want the people that have been perpetrating child trafficking. Yeah, there's going to be some of that. And there's going to be, like I said, there's so much happening in the next little while. I can't cover it all. Like I said, I don't know how we get there, but I know where we're going, and where we're going is not where you think. It's a happy place. It's going to be a fairy paradise. It's going to be a itechnological wonderland of wondrous funness for everybody. And it'll happen actually in the scale of things pretty rapidly. Fast enough for me? No. But in the grand scheme of things, really fast. My son will know a different world than I do, or than I did, and than he knows now. The world that he inherits is actually probably going to be better and funner and more than the one that we had. And this is what you want for your posterity. Okay. Thanks for sticking with me. That went an extra little while here. 2.5 is good. And again, e pluribus unum. Educate self, educate others, be of good cheer, be happy, be prepared, put on the armor of God, expect the sword of justice is going to fall and those scales will balance. It has to be, it can't be any other way. And that's all I had to say about that.